Hello again. Sorry for being absent for a while. Been busy with a lot of other things, but today I'm gonna have a look at the latest version of Star Citizen. And this will be the first time I am flying the ship. So yeah, there are some graphical issues, but bear in mind this is a very early alpha version. There are some obvious things missing, but still some nice attention to detail here and there. So here's the hangar, and walked around here before. You could go up here in the lifts, explore the hangar a bit more, but it's not so much fun. Gonna go into the arena commander module. Some test flights we could do. And here I don't know what this menu is for. The user interface is certainly not done yet, I hope. It's a little bit fiddly here and there. And of course there are some joystick presets, but I had to spend some time to configure my joystick, and even so, the feeling is not 100% yet, of course, but it's an okay start, as we'll see. So, since I made my last video here, a lot of things have happened, gaming related news wise. Okay, so here we have my ship, probably the most common ship, the Aurora. Because most backers of Star Citizen will end up with this ship. As you pay more, get better ones. So that's how it looks. Nice attention to detail. And I don't know if you will see it now at any point when I play, but there are individual thrusters etc. on the ship that are moving physically correct. And yeah, there's a short sightseeing tour. So one can go in here, for example, but once in here we're pretty much stuck here, so I will just exit the bunk bed. Once you go into the pilot seat, you can start the commander. I will play two modes, one dogfight mode and one racing mode. And will not play very well, like I said. The controller needs a lot of adjustment. I feel maybe I'm quite used to the sensitivity and setup in Elite now, and this was quite different, but I'm sure it will improve over time. So first thing I could say here is that tomorrow evening, that is Wednesday the 28th, 6:30 PM Central European Time, I will play some Elite Dangerous on Twitch live. So if you want to, you could, and if you have the time, if you see this video before then, you could join up. I will post a link to the stream below the video. Intention is to speak mostly Swedish, but if you hit me with an English question about Elite Dangerous, which I recently reviewed, then I'll be happy to answer it, and I'm sure no one will mind in the stream if I switch to English for a while. So the loading times are quite long and frequent in this alpha. Again, the assets, as you will see, are already quite high quality and high on details. I don't think I will show you that map now. I did an earlier attempt free roaming a bit with my ship, and well, then, for example, I was flying over a planet, and the texture on the planet was really impressive. The landscape was really a crafted landscape you could see from space. So yeah, as the universe, or the playable universe at least, will be a lot smaller in Star Citizen than, for example, Elite Dangerous, we can expect it to be somewhat more detailed. So here we are near an exploding or dying star or planet or something like that, and we're dogfighting these Vandal fighters, 3 of them first and then 5. But as it will turn out here to, I'm not very good at this. I'm having quite much trouble with the sensitivity here. Controller, but I think I may manage to take out a couple of fighters eventually. It might take some time. We'll be able to show you some different camera angles and such, but let's see what happens. Yes, so let's go through some of the news I've collected here. I have collected lots of them here, but I might not be able to go through everything, so let's do this in. Select some highlights here from my list of things, especially PC news that I have reacted to lately. So, some today was confirmed that the Kerbal Space Program is about to leave its early access state and go version 1.0. So different type of space sim game, but it's very interesting. I actually haven't played it all yet, but I know it's very popular. Definitely have a look at the Kerbal Space Program at some point, but it can be very educational and fun at the same time. So that's the next update. Okay, here we have the different camera angles. I will soon show you the views for a bit longer time here, if I recall correctly. So I'm commenting over old footage here. And there's happening something tomorrow. Again, like I said, I will be playing Elite. There's been some news both about Elite and other things from Frontier. So to start with Elite, February update is coming. Elite will go from 1.06 I think now to 1.1. We'll introduce cooperative missions, which I can think is a little bit about time. We should have been there from the start, but at least they're coming. So that is sort of the main new thing that will come. So yeah, that's I don't know if I mentioned that in my in-depth critique video, but well, it's for sure right as of now it's not really encouraged enough to collaborate with others. It's no functions to share rewards, etc. So, and no cooperative missions. So it's about time that they arrive. Unfortunately, Frontier has also declared that I think 15 staff members probably have to leave so maybe they had a bit too high projections for Elite, I don't know. We had the debacle with Frontier cancelling the offline mode, which forced Elite to return money to some of its backers, rightfully so. So let's see where that goes. At the same time, they also announced another sort of spiritual sequel to Roller Coaster Tycoon, which they will call Coaster Park Tycoon. Should arrive sometimes next year. So this in addition to the Xbox One exclusive Scream ride that they're already working on. So if you missed roller coaster sims, you're gonna have a few to choose from soon. Hopefully good ones. Yeah. Then we have on Kickstarter a few interesting games. Most notably Shadowrun Hong Kong, a third official campaign for Shadowrun returns. I don't know if I mentioned it in an earlier of my videos, but it's already passed its goal and is way ahead to some really spectacular extra goals, funding goals. And what else? Into the Stars, I believe I mentioned, also came through the space game. So here we see an angle which makes you appreciate the environments a bit more here. These modes in itself, they are, well, I don't know, the gaming modes are a little bit lackluster as of now, but it gives you a taste of the experience and the sort of what they are aiming for in terms of detail level at the RSI. But yeah, you see here I am failing as a fighter pilot. Perhaps this ship is not the ideal fighter either. I think I finish at least one wave of enemies. Yeah, here. Random. Right, that's the first wave. Now comes a second wave with 5 ships. See a lot of nice particle effects lying around. And I'm not going to finish this wave. It became a bit boring after a while. So we'll show you a racing mode instead. It's also somewhat lackluster, but give you a little bit of a feeling of the state of the game as of now. The rumors I mentioned in the video, I believe, when I played Hyperlight Drifter. There were some leaks about the Indexize coming projects. They had trademarked Van Buren and Meantime. Turns out that what they will be working on now is a Bard's Tale 4. Another classic RPG. The past entry was, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe 25 years ago. That was released. Brian Fargo announced that on PAX South recently. It will come up on Kickstarter again. Probably use the Wasteland 2 engine. So could be something to keep a lookout for. I'll soon start to overheat my lasers as well, so I won't be able to shoot anymore. Yeah, I obviously don't have the skill here. I basically don't do any combat even in Elite unless I'm forced to when being interdicted. But it certainly requires some training. More space games. Sid Meier's Starships was announced quite surprisingly not long ago, last week, and well, Firaxis is doing another attempt on sort of turn-based strategy in Alien Worlds. I believe Civilization Beyond Earth. I haven't played it yet. Loved Civ 5, but from what I've heard, Beyond Earth seems to be a little bit of a disappointment, maybe. But maybe they can improve with Starships. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical because this was announced recently, but it's going to be released very soon, during spring, they mentioned, so late announcements, they always make me a little bit suspicious. You want some other classic sci-fi games? I guess you have not missed the second wave of Star Wars game has appeared on Good Old Games. Games such as Rogue Squadron, for example. It's a classic I played a lot on N64 and younger. So it's a whole bunch of LucasArts Star Wars games up now, so if you missed those, they're worth take a look at. It'll be nice with there could be some mods coming up for those later as well. We'll see about that. Speaking of mods, one that was appearing on many PC sites some weeks ago was Alchemilla, or Silent Hill Alchemilla, which is basically Silent Hill made in the Source engine, a really ambitious mod. It has can highly rank that mod database. Hope to have a look at that eventually. Why I'm prefer the more sort of classic Resident Evil style horror games over Silent Hill, but yeah, it looks really interesting. I've also been playing the remastered version of Grim Fandango lately. Our website, Level 7, that I write reviews for, had our review up yesterday or today, I believe. I mostly agree with my colleagues' review there. Really good. Haven't played it before, so it's about time I played it. Have not completely finished it, but really charming adventure. Graphically leaves some well, I could have wished for more perhaps, but given that the game could not even be run on modern computers or cannot be found at GOG or anywhere, it's really nice to see it being accessible again. And yeah, really great characters, great voice acting, fun story, very charming all over, sort of dark, great humor. Should give it a shot if you haven't already. More classic gaming news. Homeworld, it's also being remastered. First two games be coming up any day now, or I believe in February on Steam. Some more space sims. Baldur's Gate is having another entry. It's gonna be, well, 1.5 basically, a game in between the first and the second game, if I've understood correctly. Being made by Beamdog, who did the enhanced editions of Baldur's Gate, recently released. So I don't know, it will be a different task for them entirely to sort of create story-driven content themselves. So we'll see. I don't know how many. It feels like most of there's a lot of this stuff involved are perhaps at well, BioWare or Obsidian nowadays, but see what they can pull off for Baldur's Gate. There's another view. Rotate the camera, the ship. I like this, some physical damage on the ship after hitting an asteroid. This camera angle is somewhat pointless, although it looks spectacular. I can see myself wanting to upgrade from this ship in the final game. The cockpit is somewhat dreadfully boring, too much stuff. Okay, too much laptop compared with all the ships I've had in I mean, it is spacious, but it's still a lot of things obstructing the view here compared with all the ships I've been preferring in Elite Dangerous. Other things, we had some news regarding DirectX 12 and Windows 10 last week. Windows 10 will be free and it will be mandatory to have if you want DirectX 12. So, as I've understood it, the main sort of new feature there is going to be the multi-threading focus, meaning that games will become better in doing multiple operations using several processed CPU and GPU cores simultaneously. So it's not like it's going to change everything overnight, but could potentially make a big difference in the future. And yeah, we'll see. I haven't looked that much into Windows 10 yet. Not many impressions, but I'm running Windows 7 on my main PC, where I do the gaming on dual boot with Linux Ubuntu. So and then I have a laptop with Windows 8 that I prefer not to use. But, yeah, hopefully it will be worth it to go up to Windows 10. And, this is free for 1 year. We'll probably do so anyway, eventually. Yeah, so I think it's about time to leave this dogfighting mode. We have not mastered the controls yet, and it's taken me way too long time. I don't think I've even hurt one of the ships in this second wave here. At this point in the game. Should be coming up any time now, if I recall correctly. Different racing mode I switched to. Fahrenheit, or as it's known in the US, Indigo Prophecy, is also rumored to get a remastered version soon. Perhaps already this week. It was sort of leaked on Amazon. Played the Fahrenheit. I liked it quite much, although it became completely bonkers in the second half. Would have been, but it sort of has been the case with the David Cage or Quantic Dreams games that I've played. But they sort of flipped out halfway. It was somewhat the same with Heavy Rain, although Heavy Rain felt a little bit more down to earth in some sense, but I don't know. I still like Fahrenheit a little bit more, or I remember it a little bit. I have a bit better memories of it. But yeah, big priority for me to get the remastered version. It's not that long ago since I played it. And they are quite... they give a good illusion of not being... that there are a lot of choices involved, but I don't know, I feel this not always end up the same, no matter what I did. Alright, let's switch to different mode. So you can see what is available now. This one can go free flight, just explore without anything. 2 environments, the Broken Moon and the Death Star, and then there are some races here. The same planets. I went with the easiest one here and probably classic race. Yeah. This yeah. See, there's a bit long loading time here, but I don't know. This mode is also a little bit lackluster, but generally I would say, if you're not, I mean, you're probably already considering how many people and how much money RSI has collected for Star Citizen. You're watching this, so it's quite likely that you perhaps have already chipped in the crowdfunding campaign, but if you haven't, I would say it's not really worth it just to play this alpha. Perhaps in the beta stage it might be a little bit more substance in what is playable, but yeah, as of now it's nothing I would pay extra for, but when they went to Kickstarter, I think they had that from a very low level to get alpha and beta access from like $30 or something, if I recall. So you just fly around on this course and fly through checkpoints that I will struggle some to find. There are some pop-ins happening here and there. So it's a shame that those I don't know, I think those, yeah, they are lacking. Perhaps they will be improved, but it will be hard, I think, to play in any different camera angle than the cockpit view. But so that you get a sort of nicer perspective of the environments with the outdoor camera. So I think they should at least add a crosshair or something later, probably, then it might be possible. Here, victim. Do not find the checkpoint. The radar is, as you can see, somewhat similar to Elite, but here they have sort of tried to illustrate the whole spherical surface, but the principle is the same. Show you sort of the position relative to you in a so XY plane, and then a line sort of marks the distance in the C direction. Yeah, we sort of started. We crashed spectacularly a few times here. It appears I cannot completely fail in this alpha. I've had some, especially in the end, you will see there's some quite spectacular crashes I thought would end the game. It won't. Yeah, so not so much happening here. Through checkpoints. A little bit well, stylish, but sort of sterile environments. What else has been up lately? A few other games. Her Story, FMV, full motion video crime drama that looks somewhat interesting. A lot of people talking about Grey Goo, which is a sort of Command and Conquer style real-time strategy game. It looks it's pretty promising. Gotten a lot of praise from, at least to say, a lot of more prominent YouTubers. City Skylines. I think in February there will be Cities XXL. City Skylines give me sort of that vibe that SimCity gave me. Those trailers. Like something that looks, you know, just a very charming city sim that you really would like to play, but let's hope that they do not make the same mistakes with the DRM and such as SimCity did. Something more. Rain of Reflections, a Swedish cyberpunk role-playing game, scheduled for next year, I believe. Looks, well, only seen a teaser of it, but cyberpunk RPGs, always interesting. We have Ronin, turn-based action platformer. Looks a little bit like Gunpoint that I had a look at for some review a while ago. I liked pretty much. Game by Tom Francis, I believe. He's working on other interesting games now. Took Heat Signature. But Ronin looks a bit similar, but according to Francis it's not very similar, but yeah, it something I will keep an eye out on. Another surprise, one of these sort of news that made me surprised was that Ubisoft will be releasing a game just weeks called Grow Home on PC. They called it an experimental climbing game. So once more, I would not. I don't think I have a pre-order. I don't remember last time I pre-ordered the game, but yeah, for all of these games that sort of that are announced and have a sort of short-term release date, beware extra much to keep an extra eye out for reviews before deciding. It's often a reason. Here's my spectacular crash I thought would kill me, so that I could end this video in a more spectacular way. It's somewhat spectacular, but I'm not thrown out of the game. But still, this marks the ending of this quite long video. I hope to perhaps see you tomorrow when I play Elite.